Joining me now to discuss Biden's handling of the war between Russia and Ukraine and his calls now to formally charge Putin as a war criminal, Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Andy, welcome back to the program. Look, this is horrible. Seeing what's happening in Bucha to those innocent people is disturbing, disgusting, and yes, a war crime. We've known Putin's a killer since his days back in the KGB, for crying out loud. But I still don't think the American people have the full story here of why Putin invaded and what's been going on in Ukraine since 2014 when we helped to install the Zelensky regime. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't make me pro-Russia or pro-Putin, does it?
No, it absolutely does not. And I think you're right. I mean, the U.S. has some culpability in the intelligence community and what we did to install Zelensky and what was going on in Ukraine. But I will just tell you, it would take an awful lot to determine that there was provocation on the part of Ukraine for Russia to intervene and attack and invade them that way. I don't see that happening. Putin should never have invaded. He's done this in a very ham-handed way, a ham-fisted way, very violent way, without humanitarian consideration. But in the end, we're going to need to get more information, as even Joe Biden says. We're going to have to do a complete investigation. I don't like this notion that they're talking about turning this over to the International Criminal Court. That's a corrupt court in and of itself. We've got to get to the bottom of this sooner or later, but right now, the Biden administration has, because of its projected weakness, allowed this to go on and has undercut a move to get a ceasefire. And that's what needs to happen first as we move to hopefully Russia withdrawing and move to peace. But I think a lot of it is our own president's policy.
Speaking of investigations, and it's tied to Ukraine, let me just flip the subject matter for a quick second. Because, Congressman, you have seen now some in the mainstream media in the last week act like it's a big revelation that Hunter Biden's laptop contents are real. You and I know this is not a big revelation because we here at OAN have been reporting on it since, I want to say, August or September of 2020. And now the mainstream media is getting on board going, oh, yep, it appears some of it is accurate. However, they stop short of connecting the big guy, Daddy, to any wrongdoing. And, of course, they want to downplay Hunter's illegal activities and connections to the CCP, Russia, and Ukraine. So will we, and how are you guys going to go about this, Andy? Will Americans get some answers in the coming months? Is there going to be a congressional investigation? Because we can't trust the DOJ and FBI to go after Hunter properly. We all know that. We've seen how corrupt they are. This needs to be massive public hearings, independent counsel. Congress needs to act because we need to uncover well, we've already uncovered it. We need to expose to all of the masses what Hunter's done and how Daddy is connected and how that compromises him being in office.
Dan, I'll tell you, you guys were on this thing from the beginning, and that's been about 18 months, 19 months ago now. This is something that those of us who were watching, we knew it was real, but the media basically covered it all up, and now there's no place for them to hide either, so that's why it's coming out. Now, what Congress can do and must do is, and what some of us in Congress have been calling for actually months now, is for the FBI and DOJ to either appoint an independent counsel or provide us the records. I mean, so last week in our Judiciary Committee, Matt Gaetz, who has a mirrored copy of Hunter Biden's laptop, introduced that into the record, the congressional record. This has got to happen. Now, we need the Auditor General to go after the FBI and find out where this laptop is. We also need an independent counsel to go after Hunter Biden and conduct that investigation. But Congress itself is going to have open hearings, and as soon as we get control, I personally believe that either James Comer, who's over oversight, or Jim Jordan, who's over judiciary, is going to open up those hearings and get us going. And those will be legitimate committees, unlike the bogus January 6th committee. That
Yeah,
Nancy
we want to
Pelosi-
discuss that. We better see it. That's all I can say, Andy, because let me tell you, I think there's enough millions upon millions of Americans upset, and that's a mild word. I'm trying to tone down my language, about this whole ordeal, that if Republicans do, and I'm fully confident you will, take back the House and Senate, then we better see action on this. Andy Biggs, representing Arizona's 5th. Thank you so much for coming on the program, sir. God bless.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Take care.